What is up, everyone? Welcome to the third episode of P.S. I Love You, hosted by me, Patrick, and my lovely Melanie. So, it's kind of later than I normally like to do it, but that's what the summer is all about, is just going out and hanging out and doing things. And sometimes things happen later than expected. How are you today?
Good. I'm having a great day. I found my first reishi, so I'm excited.
What's so exciting about that?
Because I've been reading a lot about reishis, and I wanted to make tea, and I wanted to learn how to make the supplements. So I was looking at how to grow them, like last week. So then I was excited that I found a reishi. So then we're gonna try to grow them. I don't think the agar. So you walked me through how to put a little thing on the agar plate to start it, but it was harder than I expected. So we'll see if that works.
I think we fucked it up by washing it first too.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to get so spongy, but it's a good trial and error. Even if that doesn't work, we have the rest of the reishi, so I'm going to make reishi tea. I'm excited.
Yeah, we can always just buy a culture too.
I know, but it's more fun if I found it.
There's plenty out there.
I know. I'll find more.
Very cool.
So how are you doing? How was your day?
It was pretty good.
What was your favorite part of today?
It's a good question. I don't know. Probably walking in the woods, looking at shit, trying to find. I got that picture of this app where I'm like identifying different plants, and then this mushroom app, it tells me different mushrooms. So I remember like when I was younger, like looking around, like I don't know what any plant is, but I know what every fucking car company and fast food restaurant is, And so it's like now I'm actually trying to like learn about the world that's right around me, and it's super cool. Like I'm like very anti-pharmaceutical, so I think the medicine's growing all around me, so it's cool to learn and see what nature provides. It's cool. I like getting out in the woods. It slows me down.
I agree. I absolutely love it. It's been a really good weekend because we've been out in the woods a lot. So I like it. So Friday night at the ACA meeting, one of the topics that came up that I thought would be good to talk about is, well, we were talking about codependency, and the conversation kind of stopped because then we were talking about how exactly we define codependency and how do we recognize codependency in ourselves and in our relationships. So a couple of people threw out, obviously there's the definition of codependency, which is being emotionally reliant on another person. And that often comes out as reorganizing your entire life and your feelings, your reactions, likes, dislikes around another person because you rely on them at an emotional level. And it also translates into taking on their emotions, which I think can be the tricky part because it can happen very quickly before you realize what you're doing or why you feel the way you do. So I just thought it was a good thing to talk about because we both came into this relationship acknowledging the fact that we have been very codependent in previous relationships, and we didn't want to be that way with each other, but it also came very naturally to both of us to be codependent or to act in codependent ways. And then this week has been a lot going on, and I think we handled it well.
What's your definition of codependency? The emotional one?
Yes, but to an extent, like for me, it was always like like sacrificing my emotions or what I wanted or what I liked in life for another person. So I could have been having an amazing day, and if the person I was with came home mad, like my day was instantly ruined just because someone else was in a bad mood or angry or had a bad day at work. I let it completely derail my day, even though I was having a good day.
I get that. I feel like mine is like well, similar. Like I used to take on other people's emotions. It's like we are social creatures, but I become very reliant on people to like do things for me that I could easily do myself. And I think that's like a form of codependency too. Which yeah, like or just like yeah. Or I used to like want to check up on my partner often. Or like I wouldn't be worried about what the fuck I'm doing. I'm more worried about what someone else is doing. If they're not with me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty far toxic, I think. There's definitely levels to everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be hard because like you don't always know where the line is. Like it's normal to if the person you're with or your kids or a close friend, if someone in close to you is having a bad day or going through a tough time or lost someone, like it's normal to have the empathetic, like I feel bad for their situation or it makes me sad that they're struggling so much. But where does that cross the line into emotional reliance? So, and it's normal to, want to know how your loved ones are doing, but then where does it become codependent? And then it's hard just being like in 12-step programs because sometimes like all of a sudden everything is seen as codependent or toxic. Like it's like, I don't know. Like I shouldn't say across the board at all, but I've had experiences where I'm just like sharing something that to me, like it wasn't a bad situation. It was normal. And then I've had other people respond like, oh, well, that seems very codependent or that seems this or that. And it's just like, well, no, because I'm totally fine. I'm just sharing something.
It's hard to see our own dysfunction as well. I don't know what situation you're referring to specifically, but I'm sure I feel like I've told someone that. Like it's crazy to me how like some like normal day-to-day conversation with people or that people have, like the amount of like dysfunction or codependency that goes on is just it's so normal. And it's like it
Yeah.
depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll tell them like, dude, what the fuck? But then I see people like it's day in and day out. It's the same thing. It's just like they have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. Depends how close I am with a person. But if I respect and love someone and they're like, oh man, you're fucked up. That's fucked up, like it's cool. I like when people tell me about how they view things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know, I internalize it or sometimes like, oh, I can see it like that.
I get that. And like people that I trust and people that I see they're also like working on themselves and working their program and healing. Like I do take it like I consider what they're saying. Not that I automatically vote off. But it's usually situations where it's like not someone I'm super close to, or it's someone that's just like, you need to worry about yourself, dude. Like that kind of thing. And it's not like it ruins my day. It's just like annoying. It makes me not want to share sometimes. Like I don't want to hear your opinion.
Well, yeah, you can't. Well, then, yeah, yeah. But you're always gonna get people's opinions, whether you want it or not. So it is like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
either don't share it or don't give a fuck what they think. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll share shit that I know is fucked up or whatever, and someone will say something like that to me. Then I don't care. It doesn't bother me either.
I get that. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Like I guess it's just for me like a level of annoyance.
It's not that I hurt you; it's that I touched an unhealed wound within you.
don't think that's always it. It's not about hurt. I guess I'm saying it's not about hurting. It's just like there's some people that I know that like I don't share things with them anymore because they're jump to wanting to psychoanalyze me and my situation when they have their own issues.
You're talking about me?
No.
I feel like I do that a lot too.
No, it's a lot. But I mean, we're also like obviously in a close relationship. So I do listen to what you have to say. And I don't always agree with you, but I always listen because I do respect your insight and you know me better than most people. So it's one of those things. It's just, there's the tendency to, well, it even says in the intro of the ACA, like we learn to look at ourselves and not focus on other people. Mm-hmm. So that's where like it falls for me.
Yeah. There is a lot, yeah. As I noticed too, like anytime, like even like codependency, not in close relationships, but like if you're in a group setting and you talk about something and it's like, it could be like gossip or like someone did something to me. There's always people who like jump on the bandwagon and like, fuck that person or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's like almost like codependence. I don't know what you call like trying to like overexert yourself to fit in is called, but I feel like that's a form of codependency too, like masking like your true feelings and just like jumping on the crowd belief because you want to be accepted.
Absolutely. I think all of it goes back to people pleasing. Like that need for validation.
I agree.
But I thought of it too this week just because, I was very upset this week because of stuff going on with my job. And I thought you handled it very well. I mean, just because I was obviously upset and you were very, like you were there for me and you were very supportive, but I didn't feel like you were taking it on. Which is like the point.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for saying that. Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, one of my last actually big mushroom experiences, that was my intention to stop taking on people's shit when it's like, so first off, if I did, actually been like, say if your situation happened and you're upset and then I become upset or coddle you too much or something, I'm just making it worse. Like that's a hard realization to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But like ultimately, I want you to get better and prosper. So why would I make it worse? You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's hard to see that sometimes, I guess. But I don't know, it's an area I've noticed of like, yeah, once you identify, I'm codependent, and you set your intention to try to fix that or like become interdependent.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a fixing. It's not broken. You don't need fix. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a coping mechanism you learned. Keep yourself safe, but I don't need that mechanism anymore. So so it's just enough. Once you set your intention to try to heal and the more specific area you get to and you like, it's been a couple of years and I've noticed in different relationships how I do different things and that self-reflection is key then. And eventually, like, I'm sure I'm still codependent in like ways or have tendencies, but like, yeah. I also know when like I can't not take shit on. Or, like I feel like whoever I'm with or whatever, like I can feel the emotions come in and I'm absorbing them or whatever it is. That's when I take a step back and go leave that situation, because then I'm like, it's better for me not to get wrapped up in it. It's better just for like me to get the fuck away for all parties. And then whether that's like, and it's not like I'm running away. Like sometimes I need space, right? And it's like, hey, I just need space. I'm here. Like, it's not like I'm emotionally abandoning the situation, but I'm just like putting it on pause. And whether or not that helps the other person is a lot of times like irrelevant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I think it is super beneficial for that person to know that, like, oh, I do have people here, but they're not gonna, I call it co-sign my bullshit, you know. And then it can work through that alone and process it still while knowing they are in a safe, loving relationship, but not fucking feeding in on the fuckery.
Absolutely. But I think it's important, like, regardless, if you know for yourself you need to step back, then you have to. Regardless, I mean, I think the goal is to be in a relationship where that's respected on both sides. But even if you stepping back was going to hurt my feelings, if you know that's what you need, then that's what you need to do.
Right.
And I think that's hard for, I don't know. So I feel like a lot of people would see that as like just being a shitty boyfriend. Because I think in a lot of ways, the way we talk about relationships and the language and just everything, movies, music, social, like everything, it's like this, like you said about checking in with people constantly. Like, I think a lot of people think that's normal in a dating relationship, to always know exactly what your person is doing 24 hours a day. So saying like, no, you don't feel the need to tell me or give me a play-by-play or text me every time you go to a different store or whatever. Like, I think a lot of people would see that as like, oh, well, like, what's he hiding or this or that, or I don't know. Like, it's just such a negative thing, and I don't understand that.
The society is super toxic.
Well,
We all got so much baggage.
yeah, I think it's weird. And then, like, I'm saying that, yet a few years ago, I thought that was totally normal. So, like, I get it. It's just hard. Like, now, I couldn't go back to the way I was. Like, I still have a lot of growing to do, but I couldn't go back to the way I was because now it's, like, cringy to me.
Yeah, well, anytime someone like, it comes out of a place of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can, when someone expresses something to you out of fear, if the more conscious of a person you become, the more you want to fucking sever that. You don't like that. It's just a connection that robs your energy from you. It drains you. And once you become conscious enough to feel someone draining your energy, you get the fuck away from them. That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of people that'll fill you up. You know, go where you're celebrated. You know.
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting because there's a lot of things. I mean, codependency being one of them, like we mentioned, but there's just so many things where it's like there is no definitive line. So it is different for different couples.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if two people are both in 100% agreement that yes, they communicate all day long, then it's fine for them. But as soon as one person starts feeling like, as soon as you start feeling that obligation, like, oh, I'm making a stop that I didn't tell you about, so I have to text you, I'm making an extra stop. Like, that's where, I don't know.
well, there's two kinds of things. It's like one, like some people like just want to share what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But but then if they're, I don't know. Like, I think the way you described it is, it's hard for me to piece together, kind of, but like, yeah, because sometimes I do text you and tell you, hey, I'm doing this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I want to. I don't have to.
Yeah. But it's just our conversation.
Right.
And I know it was kind of a sticking point early on in the relationship because I would ask like, oh, what'd you do today? Or what are you up to? And I'm just curious about your day. But there was more than once you took it as like, I wanted to know exactly what you were doing. When I would just like, to me, it was like a conversation starter. Like, what have you been up to type of thing. So it's just finding that balance with your partner. Like, I love sharing with you what I do throughout the day, but I don't feel obligated like, oh God, I have to tell him I did this because he, whatever. I don't know. or I was gone 30 minutes longer than I said I'd be gone.
It's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Like fear of rejection, or like, and it's always like something like I've been in relationships like that too, but it's always like someone's doing something shady. That's why you're fucking suspicious.
Or you are, and you're projecting it on your partner.
Yeah, someone is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's usually, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a reason why people are like that.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. You gotta get the fuck out. Yeah. If you're ever gonna heal, you gotta get away from relationships like that.
It's just a lot.
But
Thinking about it, like it's just a lot. For me, it was. I was extremely codependent, so I shouldn't. I was about to say for me, it was like a lot of the emotions, which is true, but it was a lot of everything. So I don't know. It was very hard to maintain how I was feeling.
what do you mean?
Like for my emotions to be authentic to how I was feeling in the moment. Like I gauged my emotions based on how the person I was with was feeling. And I would do that in relationships. Like I would with friends and family. Like I was very extremely sensitive to how other people were feeling and gauged my emotions accordingly. Like I wasn't taking the time to feel how I actually felt in the situation. And that's something like I think I'm tremendously better now. I mean, I still get caught up in things sometimes, but it's definitely not like a regular.
I've noticed our relationship, yeah. Like I feel like when I would be upset, just pissed, not even at you, like I could, yeah, and then it would just like perpetuate my irritability because you didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
I just be like, yeah, you just gotta get the fuck away, basically. And that's like weird on both. Like, it wasn't your fault, but like, it's also like magnifying what I have going on. So obviously didn't want to look at it or something. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we do. I mean, people do feed off each other too. Like I always go to like, yeah, like no, like yes, I do believe that no one can make you feel feelings, right? Like really, they just bring up your perception of what's going on triggers something. But people do interact and bring out different aspects of people. That makes sense. Like
I think
it's hard for me to grasp. But
I think like the one reading I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but like where it said, I'm not responsible for your happiness, or you're not responsible for my happiness, but you contribute to it.
yeah.
So on one level, I agree the whole, you can't make someone feel anything. But when you're in a close relationship with someone, they do contribute to your emotional state.
Absolutely.
So there is a balance there.
And yeah, I agree. And you are who you hang out with,
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to, like, I always think of it as like a negative spiral or a positive spiral, like emotions. And I think it's important to get into relationships that regularly create positive spirals.
It's like common sense. Why isn't it easier?
Yeah. It's yes. It should be common sense, but it's just, I don't know. People are complicated. And then people get together and, you have two complicated people that have their own issues and they're trying to make something together, bringing in all their own stuff. And it's easy to say like, oh, you shouldn't bring your shit into a relationship. But if you're in a relationship, your shit's there.
Well, I think relationships are meant to unwind you. or tighten you back up, either which way you want it, I guess. But like being in like relationships in general, like when you find someone who you resonate with and feel safe with, that's when your shit comes out because you're finally safe enough to let it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you start to unpack it and not deal with it or not have it. Well, you have to deal with it to work through it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, there's two people I work with, but they were best friends, and one of them was going through shit, and they got together. And it was just funny just how it played out because basically the one person said to the other, like, you have tonight to be upset and feel sorry for yourself and be sad, and I'll 100% be here for you. And then tomorrow you have to get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And gave them one night to just, cry and complain and feel sorry for themselves. And I thought about that this week because I felt like you didn't say that, but I felt like that's what you gave me. Like, you gave me a night where it was just calm and I could be sad and you were just there for me. And then the next day it was like, okay, cool. Now what are you doing? Which I think is good because it's not that like forced, like the toxic positivity. Like you weren't trying to like get me out of it day one.
Right.
You just let me be sad. And then day two, you're like, okay, what's the plan?
Yeah, Michael told me that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I've used that. I didn't consciously do that, though.
I didn't think you necessarily did. It was just funny after we talked like the next afternoon and you were very much like, yeah, this sucks, but like, what's the plan? Right. That conversation immediately came to my mind.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Because, yeah, I used to suppress my emotions too. Like something bad. Pull your boots up to your chin strap or whatever the fuck you're saying,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, cool, but like humans need think of it as we're biocomputers. We need time to process.
Mm-hmm.
We need time to absorb the data and fucking let it run through all our fucking perceptions,
Mm-hmm.
before we can accurately. I mean, you can't just jump on the fucking bandwagon and run with shit, but it never ends well.
Yeah. That's definitely what I used to jump immediately into the positive, like I didn't give myself time to be sad. It was always just like, well, this will be fine, and this will be this, and da da da, and all the silver linings and everything comes together. But I never actually was like sad or mad about it first.
Would you call it toxic positivity?
Yes.
Yeah, or bypassing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we need time to process. Humans are meant to feel.
All the emotions.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm tired.
I know. It was a long day. It was a good day, but it was a long day.
It was. Yeah. I woke up later than normal. Stayed up super late last night. We went to the Ohio Morel Mushroom Foray. Didn't find any morels, but it's just super cool to hang out and meet other mushroom people and just explore nature,
Mm-hmm.
See some cool insects and plants and learn some shit. It's good. I've been and I used to not do a lot. Like I was more like a homebody. But yeah, this past year and a half or so, I've really been enjoying going and doing shit I'm interested in. That was another and if you want to go back to the codependency for a minute, is I was codependent in my relationship, in my with my children's mother. Well, I always felt bad because leaving when the kids were here or whatever, but it was letting your partner go and do things they enjoy, encouraging that, encouraging time apart
Mm-hmm.
is good, or time with friends without your partner, both, with and without, but it, being with someone 24/7 is codependent too. Yeah, I think, you need time to, Because like you said, I can get, like I've talked to you a couple times about like, I need space because I don't know what's mine and what's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's learning how to differentiate that. Like, am I upset because, 'cause I can go into like depressive moods or irritable moods, and I'm sure that plays it takes a toll on you at some point, Then it's like, how do you realize, like, oh, I am upset because Pat's upset for a couple days? Or is it like something totally unrelated,
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to check in with yourself and be like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling?
I agree. It has to be something you are intentional with and plan for. I think sometimes couples slip into habits. So I think we're both conscious of taking time and doing things together and separately.
Yeah.
But it's something that like we've kind of we've grown to having a good balance, I think. But it's something you have to work to maintain. I think the longer you're with someone, the easier it is to get into habits of just this is what we do type of habits.
I agree. I made it a point to make sure I do my own thing too, just because I didn't for so long. It was something that I felt like I should implement strongly in, my next relationship after the last.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Any closing thoughts? I'm falling asleep.
I know, I can tell. No, I'm good.
Thanks for my 2 live viewers. I love you guys so much. Have a blessed night, and we'll do it earlier in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Stay blessed.